Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Looks like we have some stormy weather in for us today here in the Ozarks. It's probably this afternoon for us. Looks to be maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I know that some of you probably going to get it earlier or later. It just depends, but it does look like that. So if you live, in this region, I would be kind of keeping your eyes open. They're calling for potential large hail, winds, maybe even a tornado or two. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Last night, it was being reported that 9 or 10 states here in the Union was experiencing some level of 911 outages. Some states completely statewide outages. Others, it was just certain cities, certain regions within the state. We're experiencing 911 outages. I have yet to see any type of official reporting from any kind of major news or major government, but several different counties were posting on their social media pages that their 911 system was down, to use this number. Some of them were saying to text a certain number if you had an emergency, because 911 was not working. Now, it's interesting that just yesterday morning, DHS put out a warning that there was intel that the emergency services systems could be hit by some type of cyber attack or terrorist attack. Now, as of this morning, it looks like most of these are back up and running that I can tell. I can't confirm that they all are, but like I said, there were several different ones at South Dakota and maybe all of Nebraska were complete states that were experiencing it, and then several other, regions or cities within states were experiencing this. The rumor is that it's either one of two things. It's either a cyber attack or someone cut a fiber optic line. And the rumor is on that one that it's most likely purposefully. Now, that's one thing that we need to talk about, because if you're dependent upon being able to call 911 in an emergency and it doesn't exist, this is the kind of stuff we've been talking about. You're prepared for that. I mean, you might be prepared for complete all-out collapse. Everything is back to the Stone Age. But what do you do when the world's still kind of there? I mean, you're not able to go full on, Rambo, but just certain things are falling apart. And 911 is pretty critical for a lot of people. If you had an emergency, if someone had some injury, heart attack, whatever it was, and you're not able to use it, do you have a plan for that? I would suggest number one is finding out if your 911 center has a non-emergency line. So if they have, most of them do, most of them publish that that there's a certain number that you can call. It's just a regular phone number. It doesn't go through the 911 emergency system. And it's possible if that one would still work. And a lot of these last night, that's what they were sharing. They had non-emergency lines. Our county has the same thing. There's a non-emergency line that you can call for the county. So that's a possibility. You should also have comms within your community, within your group. Do you have certain radio frequencies? Are you, using GMRS radios or MERS radios or CB radios? Or are you guys a bunch of ham operators? What do you have? And do you practice with it? Do you make sure that it works? That was one thing here, and it's been a while back. We've kind of fixed the problem, but our little group here, we were like, hey, we're gonna use this radio frequency. This should work. And then we got them all out, one day, and we started practicing and playing around with them and testing them, and we found out that because of the terrain around here, they were pretty much worthless. In fact, I couldn't even, from where I'm at with a GMRS radio, and I'm not talking handheld radios. I'm talking the kind that you mount in your vehicle. These were like 25-watt ham radios. I was unable to make a signal from my house to about a mile and a half away. Mile and a half away on a 25-watt GMRS radio. And don't try to tell me I wasn't using it right or I didn't have it set up right. It was set up properly. So what I'm saying is don't just Don't just watch a video online about how to do this or what radio or what frequency will work and then just assume that that's going to work. You need to get out and test them, because in some places they just aren't that effective depending on the terrain. Also yesterday, there's a lot of little things happening, and while maybe the lines of connection aren't extremely clear, I think that there's something there. Over 200 emergency action messages were sent out on shortwave last night. And for you that don't quite understand what that is, the EAMs, that's signals that are sent out to maybe let a submarine know that it's time to arm their nuclear weapons, or to let a missile silo know the same thing. It could be used for other reasons, and it could also be training. But a lot of them were sent out. There was a lot of chatter. I believe another YouTuber, was it New York Prepper or something like that, did a video about it. And people within our own group, we have several very knowledgeable ham operators that was listening in and picking up a lot of unusual activity last night over the bans. So there's that. I also got information from someone that's retired Air Force, and they were supposedly, I don't know exactly, because I can't confirm this, so some of this is just random intel, that there were messages being sent to Air Force personnel to get ready, to get yourselves ready, because something may be happening soon. So there does seem to be a lot of stuff going on in that arena. Now, could it all just be training? Well, of course. They train all the time. I mean, we all have probably seen planes flying over, military planes flying over, different things like that. That doesn't always necessarily, every time you see a train go by and it's got tanks or Humvees on it, does not mean that we're going to war. A lot of people report it that way, but that doesn't necessarily mean that. But there does seem to be a strange amount of activity, and then also this Homeland Security alert of emergency services attack, and then it seems to be that 9 or 10 states last night did get some type of emergency services attack to their 911 system. What all does that mean? Huh? Well, that's the hard one to figure out. We're probably never going to know the truth, because they're really good at coming up with lame excuses and not telling us what really happened. But I think what it does, even if we don't know the specifics of it, I think it's just backing up the things that we've been talking about and been concerned with for a long time. That there's very possibly large amounts of cells in this country that are here. They've come across the border. They're here illegally, and they're here to do harm. And with all the tensions in other parts of the world, with the weakness within this own country, whether it be economic weakness, military weakness, just flat out leadership from the White House weakness, whatever it is. I mean, if you're a terrorist, if you're someone that wants to do harm and to disrupt things, it's starting to look like right now or in the near future is a great time to do that. So I'm not here to terrify everyone, and I'm not here to cause you to go into some kind of panic that it's on, it's now, it's happening. I'm here to tell you that you need to be prepared, and you need to be aware of these things, because it does look like that there is an uptick in stuff that's going on. Who knows what's going to happen with Iran and Israel? The latest I've seen is that Israel is saying now that they're going to wait till after Passover, which Passover starts Monday. So they said they're going to wait till after Passover to do anything. It was supposed to be this weekend. Now it's till after Passover. They're now also saying, well, they may not do an actual attack. They may just try to assassinate someone. They may do a cyber attack. There's other options. Iran says that they are targeting a lot of pretty significant sites in Israel if things happen, that they will attack that. Israel is saying, well, if it goes to that extent, then we'll attack your nuclear sites. It's back and forth. Who knows if anything's going to happen? It's quite possible the real threat isn't necessarily what's happening right there, because the reality is the distance between the two nations probably not going to be a full-on, full-scale war. There just probably isn't going to be. But the real danger is their proxies. Is the proxies of Iran. Are they going to do things in Israel? Or are they going to do things here in the United States? Which is actually, I think, more likely. I mean, there's already Hezbollah and Hamas that's doing stuff to Israel. I think it's more likely to see Iranian proxies here in the United States do things. And maybe that is what's happening. It's possible. I'm not saying it's a assured thing, but it's very possible. So we need to be kind of getting ourselves ready, folks. This is the time to come out of your slumber. You know, you've probably kind of slacked off on things because, you know, we keep hearing all this stuff and then nothing happens. Well, guess what? Something did happen. Something did happen. There were several states that didn't have 911 service. How many people did that affect? I mean, think about it. Last night, with the amount of area that was involved, how many people were trying to call 911 because, you know, their spouse was having a heart attack and they weren't able to get through? Is it possible that there were people that actually died last night simply because they couldn't get a hold of emergency services to come out and save their life? Think about it. Your house catches on fire. You, your neighbor, someone calls 911 and it doesn't work. And it takes a while to finally get through to someone. Maybe you don't even get through to them. And then what happens? Your house burns to the ground because there's no one to come and help put it out. Stuff like that. I mean, it's very possible and likely that something like that did happen last night. And so we have to wake up and realize that these things are happening and we must be prepared for them. Because we're not living in the old days anymore, folks. It's not the old times. There's a lot of tension and there's a lot of threats and there's a lot of real bad things happening. So don't believe the people that are saying, oh, nothing's going on, nothing's happening, nothing will happen. It already is happening. So you need to be getting yourselves prepared, coming up with a plan. What do you do when the phones go down? What do you do when you pick up your cell phone and it doesn't work? What do you do when you call 911 and it doesn't work? All of these things, you know, the lights go out, they don't work, the local gas station doesn't work, fuel's not coming in, electricity's not functioning, water systems are down. All of these things are a very real possibility, and we need to have a plan for them for when they happen. It's time to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.